Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of You, Me, and He, a podcast that is your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate. I am your host, Rob Lambert. I'm joined by my co-host.
This is Josh Frankenstein.
And this is Drew Carroll.
All right. Guys, welcome to episode 34. Very nice.
Hello.
All right.
I have to tell you two things. Number one, I left SummerSlam early to do this podcast.
That a boy. That's
So-
dedication right there.
What's SummerSlam?
The
Dude,
nerdiest
WWE?
nerd out ever.
Oh, the video you sent
Definitely.
earlier. I forgot about that. Thanks for bringing that up.
Dude, I sent you a clip of AJ Styles wrestling Samoa Joseph.
Dude,
it was a good thing.
Everyone there
Is that
looks,
what that was? The photo didn't demonstrate that.
it was a video. Everyone looked so bored.
Dude, everybody was like getting crazy and cheering, man. It was great.
It's like
so
a
good.
Super Bowl party where one team is just smoking the other team, and like no one's interested anymore. Oh, it's terrible, dude.
I do have to tell you, we usually do a pool, and I came in third place, so that
Is
kind
it-
of sucks. But
Is it a dead pool?
yeah,
Oh.
there's no money involved, but you do get to take home one of those like
Blood.
little kids plastic championship
Blood.
belts.
Oh, okay. All right.
Dude, it's
good
like
stuff.
it's like the exact opposite of like The Bachelorette or something. It's just like cheesy. You know that it's not actually real.
Yeah.
but it's for
dude.
like it's for the boys, quote unquote. Yeah,
Dude, coming from the guy who was like giving some props to Mick Foley not too long ago.
for one segment, for one moment in time, wrestling had me. Now it's gone.
You know what, Rob? It's okay. It's okay. All right. I mean, I can side with this. It's a lot better than Andrew dressing up as a centaur for Dungeons and Dragons. So it's all good.
Again, one time.
Well, also, I will say today is my wife Andy and I's 12th anniversary, so
And you spent it
That's
with
good
us,
stuff.
dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, that-
I
Yeah,
appreciate
dude.
that. I would
My
have
gift to you.
canceled.
Congratulations.
dedication. So, fellas, tonight we're going to jump into an awesome topic. We're going to talk best TV siblings, but before we get there, last week, Josh, I'm just going to say you unleashed a beast because you told me about a new beverage called Truly. Let me take you on an adventure, my friends. Drew, grab your centaur outfit because you're going to need it. So, I proceeded on the website to search for places in Utah that sold Truly. Nowhere could I find it.
Oh.
Okay. I even visited a couple of the state liquor stores. They did not have it. I was pretty much at the point where I was like, this is not a Utah thing. You can't get it here.
Let me guess.
Amazon.
You had to drive 2 hours all the way to Winnemucca, Nevada.
That would have been way more epic than
Okay.
what I'm about to tell you. So I went to a third liquor store and they had it.
Nice.
So I have to tell you, I bought a 6-pack of Truly. I bought the blood orange flavor, and fellas, it's just amazing. That's all I can tell you. It's so good.
no.
My God,
It is
I
so
knew He
good.
was gonna love it.
I think it's actually the butt orange flavor. Those things are gross.
Wait. Is it roast time?
Sure, yeah.
Is it roast time?
Always.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So, did you buy the matching bra and thong that went with your Truly?
You had to buy 2 packs to get that.
It comes with the complimentary maxi pads. They just assume you're getting them for your wife.
Oh my gosh. That's what I had to tell him. I was like, it's our anniversary. It's for her. But anyway. It was, guys, it tastes exactly like a LaCroix, except after you have 2 of them, it sneaks up on you real hard.
I told you,
It messes
man.
you up.
Go back to America with your Zimas and Smirnoff Ice. Hoo-yah!
Yeah, dude, I can't get on board with the Truly thing.
No, don't try it, man.
Yeah, and
I had one sip and it's dirty.
Yeah,
Dirty.
Yeah, I figured
Like-
out that
like Rob's new thong.
Oh my God.
it's definitely a hipster thing, dude.
Dude,
For sure.
I'm just going to say, like, I am At the end of the day, like I'm a stout man. You know, I'm going to take an old Rasputin over a Truly, but if somebody hands me a Truly,
I don't think you can call yourself a stout man anymore.
Dude, and you also can't call yourself a Truly man because those two don't go together.
All I'm saying is that if somebody hands me a Truly, I'm going to look them right in the eye and I'm going to say, thank you kindly. Because it was delicious.
Oh, dude.
Could you just hear me? Could you hear me whispering sweet nothings?
Well, here's what I'll say.
Blood orange.
I'm sitting there looking. There was two of them. There was like blood orange and then like strawberries and cream. And I'm like, okay, I have to go blood orange because I can't go full strawberries and cream.
That's the only way you could salvage any part of your man card is if you went with blood orange.
No, there's
exactly.
There's no salvaging, dude. You bought Trulies.
You know what's crazy, Drew? I'm going to buy them again. Josh, tell me, how was your week this week, my friend?
Well, I had a couple of funny moments this week as I was living life. I don't think you two have reached this level yet, but you know, my son's under 10 years old, right? And Legos are his thing. Like,
oh yeah, no, not there yet.
He loves Legos. Now, let me tell you this much: it is actually a glorious day when your child begins to love Legos because they just like pull you in, man. It's like this whole world, like the one that you grew up in, immersed in, you get to play inside again. Like you get to just like start building.
Now they're even more detailed and cooler.
Yeah, no, way better. And you got more colors. You're not just confined to blue, red, green, and yellow. Like you have other things that you can play with, right?
And at the end of the day, when you're a grown man playing with Star Wars Legos, you're like, I'm spending time with my son.
That's right. That's all it's about.
He's sitting there sleeping while you're putting it together.
Never
like,
mind.
Out of the way, I'm building this X-Wing.
Never mind the fact that half the Legos that we own are because I bought them for me and put them in his room. But that's
why I'm like, happy birthday. I'm going to play with this for a while.
Anyway, I came to realize the Lego madness this week when I was playing in his room with Legos at his invite. I didn't just go in there and take over, I promise. He came and asked me to come play with Legos. Now, he has I don't know what the gallon measurement is, but if you've seen the storage boxes, like storage boxes that you would normally, they're like clear see-through. You buy them at Target, you know, you store crap in them, put them in your attic. He has two of those full of Legos.
Oh,
two of those full of Legos. And I was
awesome.
like at work on a project, man. This is the madness part, right? Like as soon as you get immersed, like I had this like great design going. I was making this car. It was just like super awesome. And he's 8 years old, and he has no patience at all, right? He just wants to play with the car. That's like his mentality. No matter how many hours I put into it. And by the way, like I've got like 8 hours into this little project, you know, that I've been playing with.
Dang.
No matter how much time when you're sifting through 2 tubs full of Legos trying to find your parts, that's a lot of time, man.
Yeah, but you can understand
that's part
impatience.
of the madness. Yeah. So he just wants to play with it. And he takes over my project. Just takes over my project, right? Like, I mean, he's coming over now and he's starting to see like the semblance of where I'm going. And he starts telling me what I can or cannot put on my car that I'm building.
Too far.
Yeah, dude.
You're grounded.
And so I'm starting to get a little impatient now because I'm trying to build this thing and I'm like fully sold on it. Like I want it like, to the nines, right? And he's telling me what to do. And finally, he just sends me over the top, right? And he was like, no, Daddy, we can't do that. And I was like, back off, man. I'm putting this together. This is my car. You can't come ask me to play in here and then tell me how to play. That's not how this works. And then Amy walks through the door. Is everything okay in here?
You're like, he started it.
That's exactly what I said. Didn't even realize I defaulted to 8-year-old Josh. And she just simply said, she was like, you know what? I need to talk to you for a second in the living room. I got up and walked out. Oh, man. It was like hilarious. It was so funny. Just one of those moments where, you know,
so
your
what did she say?
35-year-old self just like jets back like 27 years. Huh?
What did she tell you?
She told me I had to have more patience, and those were his Legos. And whatever he decided I should do. Oh, by the way, you're a 35-year-old man.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, there was that. And then
So at least there was one adult here this weekend.
there was one adult residing in the house this weekend. Yeah, thank God for that. So yeah, that was one. And then the other thing that happened this week that was like super hilarious, man. You guys are both familiar with my horse dog that I have. You know,
Oh, yeah.
my
Oh,
Great
yeah.
Dane Mastiff, who's like 140 pounds now, by the way, not 120.
Yeah.
140 pounds. Big dog. She loves to just like lay in the grass, whether it's like in the backyard or front yard, just lay in the grass. That's what she does. Most of the time it's in the front yard because she likes to stay on alert for everything that's going on, right? And I mean, she just lays down in the shade. Like she finds the coolest spot in the shade in the front yard, and that's where she goes. Well, earlier this week, a FedEx truck showed up.
Oh, no.
And for whatever reason, she did not wake up from her sleep. Just didn't wake up. So the FedEx truck comes down the driveway
Oh man.
and parks, and I'm watching this from the living room. Like I'm really surprised nothing has happened yet. I couldn't believe this because our dog Rogue usually barks at anything that comes down the driveway.
Dude, and she's so tall. Like
So he gets out of the truck and he opens the back gate and he pulls out this huge box like of what I ordered because I put running boards on one of my vehicles this weekend. And he's walking it up to the door, and it's a long walk. I would say it's a good 100 feet from where he parked to go drop it off, right? He drops the box in front of the door. Rogue wakes up
Oh,
after
no.
hearing the box drop and immediately just right away.
It's like the Sandlot when he's running back to the fence.
This guy turns faster than I've ever seen anyone turn trying to find where this dog is. And she's a sweetheart. She'll never, she won't bite anyone or anything. She's just an alert dog. That's all she is. He turns and doesn't see her until she, jumps out of the grass from the shadows. And now she's, on the grass, full sunlight. He totally sees her. And he bolts. He tries bolting back down our sidewalk and trips over his feet and falls.
Oh, man.
Just one of those really good ones too. Trips over his feet, slams the concrete, and his feet go up over his back.
Like Scorpion.
Right? Yeah, he wasn't the lightest man. I should probably say.
He's no Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
Rogue still just same spot, barking the whole time. Just barking
She doesn't even have to move.
And he takes off running and gets back in the truck. And I've never seen a FedEx truck peel out before. It was insane. Because we have a gravel driveway, so we just hit the gas. And the rocks just went flying, dude. And he goes out the driveway. And I'm just in the living room laughing my butt off because this is why we bought a dog this size was for
That's
moments
amazing.
like this. So, yeah, it was I don't know if I should call it delivery fail, but, because the delivery made it there. But there was definitely a failure afterwards to escape.
For sure.
So, yeah, it was funny, man. I mean, I worked a lot last week. I was basically doing 12-hour days, Monday through Friday. I was really long days. So, to have, that be the highlight of my week
dude.
and then be able to, play Legos, even though I did act like an 8-year-old little boy, it was a good week. So
That's why people actually put cameras on their house, dude.
that's right. Yeah.
It's not for burglars.
It's to capture the fun.
Oh yeah, those little gems, dude, that life hands you.
I'm just thinking. And then they asked, how long did the beast have to be locked up? Forever.
Yeah, dude. It was great.
yeah.
So, that was my
hilarious.
week.
Awesome.
So, Drew, how is life, man?
Dude, I am so tired.
Oh, whatever.
We're 1 week into the baby, right?
Oh yeah.
She is 1 week old.
Dude, yeah.
Here we go.
Welcome to the next 20 years of your life.
Yeah. Just tell me what you're crying for.
And that's just the wife.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's been an interesting week adjusting, dude. Well, the thing is even with the baby and everything going on, so dude, ever since we moved into this house almost 4 years ago, we've always had a problem with rodent type animals, dude. And I don't know what it is. I think it's like we have a ton of trees and it's just kind of like a little jungle in our backyard.
Well, you do have like doesn't your house have like it doesn't have a basement, but it has
there's a crawl space. Yeah.
Okay.
So
that doesn't help.
Elevated off the ground. Yeah. And so for the first few years that we lived there, we had a crow problem. And we would just have so many crows in the trees, dude, and they'd be gawking all night. We weren't getting any sleep, dude. It was kind of like having a baby, but without the cute face to comfort you at the end.
I remember when you borrowed my pellet gun.
Yeah, dude, that's why I bought it. So it turns out it came in handy again. I sent you guys a picture. So we've had a rat problem, and I threw a bunch of poison down in like underneath the crawl space and in the garage and stuff. And one day while we were at church, the dogs got into a fight with a rat in the backyard in broad daylight.
No. It's not a fight if the thing can't fight back.
Oh, it was fighting back, dude. They were having a field day. So they were all taking turns like picking it up and shaking it around. And then they toss it. Yeah.
Not a fight.
Yeah. So Elizabeth calls me and she's frantic and she's like, what do I do? And I'm like, I don't know, get a broom. She's like, who do I hit? I'm like, all of them. I don't know.
She's like Neo in the second Matrix movie.
Yeah, dude. So I get home later on that evening, and I was like, I'll try and find it. I didn't see it that night. Well, the next morning, dude, I'm out walking around, and I see it in the back corner. And I'm like, okay. So I go and grab my pellet gun, dude. And
it survived the fight?
Yeah, he wasn't moving very fast. So I put the pellet gun really close to him, and I fired, right? And he kind of jumps up, and then he just falls over. And I was like, oh, that was weird. Poked at him, like, oh, he's dead. Okay. So I bring Elizabeth down. I'm like, hey, I need you to take a picture of this. So I have her take a picture. While she's in the process of taking the picture, I'm holding it up and I'm looking at it. I'm like, I don't see any blood. Like, I don't think I shot it. I think I just gave it a heart attack. So,
You literally scared it to death.
And I just kept thinking, like, man, this thing's going to jump over and bite me. And then I'm like, no, dude, maybe I had a heart attack.
Its heart just burst from its chest.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, man.
But we solved the rat problem one way or another.
Yes, that's true. You solved a rat's problem.
Yeah, dude. So then later on in the week, which is when we thought our problems were over with the dogs and animals, I let the dogs out in the morning before I'm leaving for work. And
you play
I hear
that song in the morning too?
What song? Oh, no. No.
Okay, all right.
We shouldn't sing
I'm
it
not
either.
going to.
Who let the So, and then I just go about my routine and I hear them just going crazy and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And I open the window to the bathroom, dude, and I just see feathers. I was like, holy crap, dude, and it's in the back. And all the
pillow fight.
all the dogs are going crazy, dude. So I'm calling them, dude, and they start running over. And I go back there, dude, and there's 2 chickens in the back of our in our back area where it was fenced off for a garden. We don't have chickens, so they're not ours.
No.
And they're kind of ripped into pieces and there's feathers everywhere. And so I was like, oh, crap. The chickens flew over the fence and, you know, it happened, whatever.
Committing suicide. What were they flying away
That's
from?
not what happened at all.
Okay.
There was a hole in the fence. And I went and looked in there, dude. And there was like 5 terrified chickens.
Oh, man.
And then like 4 others in there. Just ripped apart.
I don't know why, but I kind of think the mental image that's coming to mind right now at your house is that anything that's smaller than your dogs looks at this backyard as if it's Jurassic Park.
Dude. like I wanted to feel bad for the chickens, right? But I just imagine like how happy my dogs probably were, dude. Probably tongues flopping out, dude. Just smile from ear to ear, not really knowing what they're doing, but they just love this and they don't know why. So yeah, dude. Luckily the neighbors weren't too upset about it. They were cool. But yeah, so my week was just disposing of dead animals.
Oh my gosh. Dude, John Hammond had it all wrong. He could have just had some chickens and some dogs in his backyard. It would have been good.
Dude, people would come and see it. Actually, I think that's illegal.
You're like, we spared every expense. All right. Well, hey, when we come back, we're going to jump into an awesome topic. We're going to talk best TV siblings. So stay with us, and we'll be right back. All right, and welcome back to the show. Tonight, we're talking best TV siblings. So, fellas, I'm going to lead us off tonight, and I'm going to go with somebody that, at least in my opinion, when I look at the life that they lived and the siblings that they've had around them, this is a guy that I'm just like, number one, I'm surprised that he kept us cool as long as he did, and number two, if I'm going to have a sibling that I'm going to be on good terms with, it's going to be this dude, and that is Tyrion Lannister from Game of Thrones. Okay? Let's talk about this dude. All right? This is a guy who's put up with a ton of crap from everybody around him, and yet he's a good man. So good, in fact, that even in the face of possibly death, he's willing to slap his nephew in the face. I think. By the way, maybe some spoilers for people if you're not caught up on Game of Thrones.
No. If you're not caught up at this point, that's your own fault.
Yeah, I have to concur with Drew. Yeah.
I mean, who wasn't excited to see Tyrion basically slap Joffrey in the face? That was beautiful.
Dude, I was so happy when that scene actually happened. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just brought so much joy to my life in that moment.
Then he murdered his dad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, he's not opposed to making some hard choices, and that sometimes means killing your own father with a crossbow on the toilet. I mean, we've all been there, right?
We've all come to the crossroads.
Gosh.
I'm
Dude, he's
speechless.
old. Yeah, for real. Josh, you've never been in that space where you just want to shoot your dad with a crossbow on the toilet? I mean, come on. I apologize.
Not my actual dad, but there are some other dads I've done.
Dude, Tyrion's dad, we all wanted to shoot him with a crossbow on the toilet. Dude, this is a brother who is always the voice of reason. He's a brother who's willing to smuggle himself in a crate across the sea in order to preserve his well-being, and he's also a brother who just, dude, he's always got wine. He's always ready to pour you some wine.
He's
right?
always he's addicted to alcohol and hookers.
Women.
Yeah. So
Where are
All
you
I'm
trying to
saying
go
is-
with that?
why wouldn't you pick him as a role model?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
All I'm saying is there a better brother than that? I mean, come on.
Yeah, his brother Jamie.
Are you kidding me?
He wants a love that's forbidden. Okay,
Dude.
No.
Wait, are you seriously trying to defend Jaime Lannister
he
right
killed
now?
the Mad King when he was going to kill everyone else. He went
Okay.
against his oath, and
That's legit.
he took the fall for it his whole life, dude. And all he did was make the right decision. People called him the Kingslayer when he was actually just the people lover, dude.
Dude, he's the people lover. He's also
very people
He's also
lover.
the sister lover.
Well, you got to understand the context of the time.
No, we don't.
That's true.
Yeah, help us understand how that's a
I'm not saying it would be my way. I'm just saying he's not that bad.
Hey,
He
poll
gets
for next week.
yeah, for real. We want to hear from you, Twitter audience.
I'm just saying.
All right, Drew, please. You know what? Here's the deal.
Tyrion was good, man. I like Tyrion.
Dude, Tyrion is the brother who will always have your back until you try to kill him. Then he will make your life a living hell. But
And
Drew,
then Jamie is the brother that if you're the sister will always have your back also.
oh my god,
He's a good guy.
Yeah, but see, even that goes awry for him. It doesn't work out.
Good. It shouldn't work out
Yeah.
for anyone.
All I'm
That's the
saying
way it's
is,
supposed to be. Spoilers, everybody.
he's just a desperate man roaming the earth looking for love. That's it, dude.
Dude, and the truest love is the one that's right under your nose or
one you
sleeping in the bedroom next to you, right? You're ridiculous. Okay, you know what?
Now,
I can't wait to hear.
You picked Geppetto for hottest Disney characters, dude, and that will never go away.
Whatever. Okay, fine. Please enlighten us. Please don't pick Jamie Lannister. Who's it going to be for you, Drew?
I'm taking this to a little town called Mystic Falls, where possibly the greatest love triangle ever seen on TV took place.
Oh, no.
What?
No, go ahead.
This is
Is this two brothers and a sister? What's happening here?
No.
Triplets.
Oh, there you go.
Still Game of Thrones. No, this one is not inappropriate like that. This is two brothers who are stuck
each
in
other.
eternal time together, fighting over the love of one woman.
Okay.
The Vampire Diaries.
Oh, no. Okay. You lost me at
And I'm
vampire.
talking about Stefan Salvatore.
Okay. The problem here, Drew, is even you didn't believe you when you said his name.
One bit. That's all I heard, too. As if you
That was-
religiously watched that show. Stefan
That was definitely
Salvatore.
a Ron Burgundy moment.
Yeah.
Stefan Salvatore.
Confession, I didn't watch the show. I read the books. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my
I don't
God.
read books.
Not a nerd. Please.
So, Stefan and his brother are fighting over this chick, right? And at first, she's like, oh, yeah, Stefan, you and I are soulmates, blah, blah, blah. Well, then his brother Damon comes in, older brother Damon comes in and swoops her away. And now Stefan has to live the rest of his life knowing that his brother is with this other chick that was supposed to be his, dude.
And when
He
you say
always-
the rest of his life, it's the rest of his immortality.
Yeah, dude, forever. It's going to be
Is
forever.
there a greater hell than that?
No.
Poignant.
No. It's very touching, actually, if you ask me. What do you think, Josh? Have you seen this show?
I have not seen the show. At this point, I'm pretty sure I will never watch the show.
I didn't sell you?
Not one bit.
Dude.
And
It takes place in Mystic Falls. That's creepy.
I'm still trying to figure out why they're fighting over this girl and why he gave up so quickly
Elena, dude,
and what makes him a good TV
she
sibling.
resembles a woman that they both loved hundreds of years ago. They're vampires, right? Did we?
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're
wait. Is she immortal? Is she a vampire too?
No, she's not. She's immortal.
Oh, dude, she's gonna die.
Yeah, she's going to die.
Oh, dude, this is a love triangle that's going to be. I mean,
Yeah.
for them, it's like a
Well,
blink of an eye. It's going to be done.
Yeah.
Well, it's it's kind of a bad deal because she falls in love with this dude and then like she goes into a coma for a couple seasons.
This sounds like a $1 bet between brothers.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Wait a minute, Drew. You're giving me a hard time for watching wrestling, which is essentially a soap opera for men. However, you're sitting here watching a soap opera for women.
Well, I haven't seen it in a long time. This is when Elizabeth and I were dating, and yeah. Well, I haven't. It's been a while, but this was just you think about brothers, you instantly think about Vampire Diaries. I think that's just everybody does. I think that's when you think about TV siblings and hardships, the mind just instantly goes Vampire Diaries, and
It's true. It's true, Josh.
That's probably. I mean,
That's sound logic.
I feel like you guys probably would have picked this one if I didn't.
It's true.
Nope, totally
true.
wouldn't have. Definitely wouldn't have.
Well, we'll let the listeners decide. So
That doesn't even make any sense.
So is he a bad TV sibling or a good TV sibling?
well, no, he's good. He takes the high road. He has to deal with just like he's like Tyrion, except I guess.
This. I always love having this philosophical discussion of vampires taking the high road. You're talking about a race of beings that murder people to stay alive, or to stay undead. Stay undead.
healthy looking, I think.
He's the noblest of the vampires.
He's the noblest of the most, or of the unnoble. Okay.
The best of the worst.
Okay.
Anyways, move along.
Stefan Salvatore.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'm gonna go.
This is to reach out to the female audience.
Okay. Yeah.
Good job,
All
Drew. Diversify.
That a boy.
Diversify. Yes.
So my TV sibling, this was like not even a thought in my head. Like when I thought about best and worst, and I feel like this individual like encompasses both those words, best and worst TV sibling. I didn't have to dive very deep into the bucket to find who this individual is going to be. This person at times can be the most loving individual to his hermano. And he can also be like the biggest pain in the butt, dude, like that ever lived. That makes your life a living hell. And I thought, for this specific segment, the person that filled that void the best was Job Bluth from Arrested Development. Hands down by far. So this is what I love about like watching Arrested Development, especially the relationship between Michael and Job. Is Michael is like this upstanding guy trying to help the family, right? Trying to rescue their legacy and keep the family business afloat. But Job he's the number one son. Like he was born first. And so everything is supposed to technically go to him, you know what I mean, from that context. And they just, dude, like they'll have these moments that they share where they're like brothers and they're like watching each other's backs and they're supportive and everything else. And then all of a sudden, Job will get jealous of absolutely nothing. Like all of a sudden just jealous of absolutely nothing and tries to make it his life's mission in the next 5 minutes to destroy Michael's life for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And so, like, I just thought it was great because, I went back and forth this week, like, okay, who would be the best TV sibling? Who would be the worst TV sibling? Aha. I got the character who is the best and worst TV sibling, hands down, that could ever live. So, yeah, dude, like, plus this character was just hilarious, man. Like, so funny. I mean, guy's trying to be like a full-time magician.
Yeah,
like,
that's how it starts, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Illusions, Michael.
Illusions, Michael.
A trick is something a whore does for money.
Dude, that line is
Or
so
cocaine.
Actually, dude, the edited version I felt like was actually better than the one that was released because the edited version is illusions, Michael. A trick is something a whore does for money. And then all the kids look up at him. He's like, or candy.
The greatest Job moment is when he chips his tooth.
Yeah, dude, this is really funny.
I just want your son to respect me.
He's whistling
The whistle. Oh my gosh.
So funny, man. Or the time he actually sinks the Bluth yacht trying to perform a magic illusion, that's what we're going to call it, but actually
Careful.
sank the yacht, like, blew it up, and it was like one of the only assets to the company they actually had. Like, the dude is so funny, man. Anyway, like, yeah, if nobody out there has actually watched Arrested Development, I highly recommend you go see it. Not the Netflix version. I'm talking the original. It was 3 seasons long. You were going to laugh so hard when you go watch it.
Vampire Diaries was 8 seasons.
Yep. That's 8 seasons too long, it sounds like.
Dude, you will never hear a more beautiful rendition of Cold as Ice than Job playing on the piano.
I mean, there's only one show, man, that could actually like play the final countdown and make it epic like every time. And it's Arrested Development, man. Every time he comes out on stage. Dun, 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 dun. Like, it's just fantastic. Love it.
I feel like Job is the way you described it, I think, is perfect. When he's on your side, it's a beautiful thing. But when he is against you, he is a bitter enemy.
Yeah. Dude.
All right. Well, hey, on that note, we want to hear from you, Twitter. Who do you think is the best TV sibling? Are we going Tyrion Lannister, the short stack who will always come through in a pinch? Was that insensitive? I apologize.
Might have been actually.
It's very, very plausible.
Yeah, I mean Peter Dinklage is a real human being. It's not just a character.
We'll probably edit that out.
Now we can't.
Yeah, for real. Stefan Salvatore. Is that how you or Joe Bluth?
From the show that drinks Trulies, by the way.
Yeah, for real. Hit us up on Twitter at youmehepodcast or Instagram at youmehepodcast. And fellas, now it is time for True Story with Rob Lambert. All right, fellas. Dateline Roanoke, Virginia.
Uh-oh.
Meet Nicolas Cage, the unwitting face of Roanoke's covert anti-poop crusade.
Oh my gosh.
So basically, fellas, let me break this down for you. A snarky citizen in Roanoke, Virginia, has taken it upon themselves to print out and cut out pictures of Nicolas Cage's face, attach them to a small stick, and then place that into uncollected dog poop along this hiking trail. Now, whoever this individual is, they're keeping their identity a secret, but it's no doubt that they are a hero, okay? Here's what the secretary of Wasena Neighborhood Forum, James Settle, says. He began spotting the signs about 3 weeks ago on the stretch between the Wasena Bridge and the first low water bridge just behind the River House Apartments. He says, I have no idea why it's Nicolas Cage, but I appreciate the message that it's sending. It's a reminder that this needs to be taken care of. Now, city officials appreciate the anonymous citizen taking up the cause, though they feel like the method is a little bit avant-garde, okay? We would this is the quote from them. We would prefer that they just reach out to us and let us take care of maintenance like that. It's comical, but it starts to get on a slippery slope.
I wonder if they were actually trying to be punny when they said that.
Now, here's the deal. The question I have about this is it possible that in his free time, Nicolas Cage is actually doing this? Could this be viral marketing for one of his next projects? What say you?
Yeah, the next Ghost Rider.
It's just going to be a pile of crap, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, dude. Absolutely.
I just don't know how to respond to this. I mean, in all honesty, what is it that they think the Roanoke City Council is going to be able to do about Nicolas Cage's movies? I mean, is that not what this is about? Or
I think you're missing the issue here.
okay, I'm sorry.
I think it's about both.
Now, the director of Roanoke Stormwater Utility, Dwayne Desjardins, says this is a serious issue. Poop scoopage is a big deal. All right, they've installed 100 mutt mitt stations in the city to make this happen, and they're saying it's behavior that needs to change. The face that is bringing about this change, the hero that is bringing change to this small community, is Nicolas Cage himself.
Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect.
Now, the guy who identified and started taking the pictures and sending them to the newspaper, once again, his name was James Settle. He says, it's not me who's doing this, because there's some allegations that maybe it was him. And he says, if it was my doing as a commercial real estate agent, I wouldn't leave a picture of Nicolas Cage. I'd just leave my business card.
Wow. That is how you're going to garner business right there.
That's like, I love you, man. Urinal cakes.
Exactly.
Well, haven't I seen you around somewhere?
I don't know, Rob. This sounds like a pretty crappy story, actually.
Dude, it's the best thing Nicolas Cage has starred in a long time, okay?
People not picking up their dog crap is a thing. When I lived in Los Angeles, I remember walking to a Subway one day, and I passed this giant turd. It's like your dog could have taken it, dude. And nobody in that city should be owning a dog that big. And so when I'm walking by, I threw these Subway napkins down to cover it, right? Later on, when I came back through, there was a footprint.
Oh, no.
But it slid like 2 feet.
That's the slippery slope.
Yeah, dude. Because it was in Hollywood and it was on a hill, and someone stepped in it, dude, and it carried them.
Oh, my God.
So dirty.
So I guess covering up's not the best. It's not the right answer either.
If you were a real hero, you would have manhandled that lump of coal.
I guess I'm
And-
not a hero.
No, you're not.
That's fine. If that's what a hero is, I'm good.
Not all of us can measure up to Nicolas Cage.
That's right. That's right. It takes a real man to be so conscientious of the issues that are out there that you
put his-
willingly put your own face.
He's used.
That's right.
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
He's used to handling crap. Ghost Rider 2. Knowing.
raising Arizona,
Raising errors at anything.
Easy now.
face off,
Face off. Yes.
Con Air.
Family Man.
All we're saying is that if you want to bring change to your neighborhood, there's nothing better than just taking Nicolas Cage and putting his face on whatever the issue is. Just put his face on it.
And if you don't
That'll
have that,
help.
just put a napkin.
Wow.
That's right. And this was True Story with Rob Lambert. As we come to the end of our time, let us talk about what we've learned tonight. Drew apparently owns a lot of costumes. Not only does he wear a penguin costume, but when it's time to put on the centaur uniform, he will do it. And he will go on an adventure. It's beautiful. It's a good thing. Number 2, they're not called magic tricks. They're illusions, all right? We all know what an illusion is. We all know what a trick is, so be careful.
It's important to know the difference between the two.
You never, ever, by the way, fathers of daughters, ever want to demonstrate a trick.
If somebody asks you to go into the Aztec tomb, just tell them no.
That's right.
And number 3, apparently Nick Cage is just some hero in a small town in West Virginia. It's the best thing he's done in a while, so we should give him props. People, reach out to him on social media. All right, as always, we just want to say thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for supporting the show. And make sure wherever you get your podcast, you go and leave us a review and a 5-star rating there. It really helps out the show, and we really appreciate it. And until next time, I'm your host, Rob Lambert.
This is Josh Frankenstein.
And Stefan Salvatore's #1 fan, Drew Carroll.
Oh, we've made a huge mistake. Have a good night, everybody.